Hey, you there. Do you like yeeps and wiring and wiring? And do you like numbers and counting and bit storage? Well, boy, do I have something for you. This is a bit storage tutorial in yeeps. Now, what is storage or bits? Well, bits is the ability to store electrical pulses as information. That didn't do anything. It just turned them on. If you look here, right now, what do I have? I have something that when I press the button first, turns on, well, off, turns on, and then when I press it again, it turns off. That's one bit. This single thing, I can say whether I want it on or off, and then I can use that. Now, what if I want more than one? Well, first, let's make a more complex version of the one. Hold up. So if you don't know what a toggle block is to start off, I'd go to an easier wiring tutorial than this one, but first I would use them and like get to know them. Basically, toggle block turns on when you press the button, then press the second time, it turns off. While it's on, if you put electricity into here, it turns off. Very, very simple stuff. So, now, if we look here, this is a very interesting contraption I've just made. You'll notice, if I press this button, what will happen, right? It'll turn both of them on, but this one's set to turn this one off, meaning this will be the only one on. Yep, as I said, this one turns on, turning this one off. Now, if I extend this a little bit, we can see that this one's on, this one's off. If I were to press it again, what might happen? Well, you'll notice that this one will turn off, but this one will also turn on. If this one's off, it can't turn this one on, or it can't turn this one off, allowing this one to finally turn on, like so, switching them. Now, this is what I call storage. We can store information as either being this one, or 1, 0, 0, 1. Now, that's pretty simple, right? Let's make it harder. Hold up. Boop. Alright, now you'll notice, because I've duplicated this structure, we now have 3 possible outputs, with 4 total things that can store data. So it's 4-bit. That's my point. Now first let me reset it because this is not accurate. So you'll notice if all of them off is 0, right? That would make this 1. You know, this would be 2. Which 2, you'll notice, has 2 different ones on, because as this works, this one turns on. This is the classic, I forget what it's called, but basically the first slot has to fill up. So this is the 2, 4, 8 thing. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, my point is, if I press it one more time, we'll get to 3, which is that one on by itself, and finally 4 with these 2 on. Okay, now you might be like, Josh, is there a 5? And no, there's not. It's just back to 1. But that's because it's 4-bit storage. Wow. All right, but now you'll be like, Josh, if it goes back to 1, how does 1 get 0? I'll show you. Let's make things more complicated. By the way, you can continue that for more storage. All right. So the reason I'm actually doing this, I'm making a bigger gap, is because we need this. Basically, what will happen is we need to put power into both, into all of these red parts at the same time and turn them all off to get it to 0. But what happens is you'll notice because these are connected, it'll backfeed, and we don't want that because that basically means it's going to put a number on when really we're just trying to make it 0. When we're trying to turn them off, it'll turn them on, basically. So this prevents backfeeding because now these can turn these off, but this can't turn this on. See what I'm saying? So that prevents backfeeding. And then what we do, we take these. And this is because it needs to be for a certain amount of time for it to actually turn them all off. And then we're going to take this. Hold up. Now what we do, now you'll be like, Josh, wow, it's at 1 right now. Not for long. 0. And basically that's how you get. So every time we put a pulse into the red, it'll send a pulse to all of them at the same time, allowing them to turn to 0, like so. Once it's over, you can start using it again. So that's pretty cool. I've used this for multiple things. Now, because it's encoded, for example, this is 1, right? This is 1, obviously, as we already discussed this the first time I pressed the button. So this is the first time I pressed the button. If I want it to turn into numbers, say 1, 2, 3, and 4, I have to decode it. Because if this is 1, I can put that to something with 1. But 2 will also want to be 1 as well as this wire. And there's only 3 wires, but 4 different outputs. You see what I'm saying? So the problem kind of arises that you're going to need to decode it. Yeah. Decoders are pretty interesting, but that's for another video. Right now, you're getting encoded wiring. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a video. I thank you all for watching, and I appreciate you, and I say God bless you. Jesus loves you. Yeah. Come to Jesus. And don't forget to like and subscribe.